In the beginning of time, before cities, before kings, before the memory of man, the world was ruled by the Titans. Colossal beings born of the primordial gods, ancient forces whose power shaped mountains and seas. Their dominion was vast, their authority unquestioned. Thunder answered to them, the earth trembled beneath their steps. And among these eternal beings stood Prometheus, a titan as old as time itself, a watcher of ages, a mind burdened with knowledge no god wished to carry. He could see what others could not. He could see the end. For Prometheus foresaw the great war before it began. He saw the Titanomachy, the clash that would tear heaven apart, the uprising of the Olympian gods, the rise of Zeus, and the inevitable fall of his own kind. He saw chains. He saw Tartarus. He saw the Titans cast down, defeated by a new order of gods. And when the war came, Prometheus did not raise his hand against Zeus. He did not fight fate. He stepped aside, silent, knowing that resistance would only deepen the ruin. And because of this, he escaped the prison prepared for the others. When the war ended and Olympus stood supreme, Zeus ruled as king of gods and men. The Titans were broken, scattered, forgotten. But Prometheus remained, and so Zeus gave him a task, not of destruction, but of creation. Together with his brother Epimetheus, Prometheus was commanded to shape life upon the earth, to populate the land, to bring forth creatures that would walk, fly, swim, and crawl beneath the heavens. It was a decree of order after chaos. A new world demanded new beings. Epimetheus molded the creatures one by one, gifting them talents for survival. Wings for the birds, strength for the beasts, speed, claws, scales, fur, every ability carefully distributed. Prometheus watched. He guided the process. He oversaw the balance. Yet, as the final form was shaped from clay, a silence fell. For when it came time to create man, nothing remained to give. And in that moment, destiny paused, as if the future itself was waiting to breathe. Man was formed last, shaped carefully from the dust of the earth, molded with intention, but left incomplete. There were no wings to lift him above danger, no claws to defend him, no thick hide to shield him from the cold. The gifts had been spent on others. And so humanity entered the world fragile, unarmed, and exposed. Prometheus looked upon his creation and felt an unease he could not silence. Man existed, but he did not yet belong. When Prometheus presented this new being to Athena, goddess of wisdom, she gazed upon it in silence. The form was humble, the posture uncertain. Yet within the clay she saw potential, something unseen, something waiting to awaken. And so Athena knelt and breathed into the lifeless form, a breath not of flesh, but of defiance, of thought, of reason. In that sacred moment, humanity drew its first breath. Eyes opened, consciousness ignited. Man lived. But life alone was not enough. Humanity wandered the earth like a lost creature, dwelling in caves, trembling at the roar of beasts, fearing the darkness that swallowed the night. They survived on fallen fruit, hid from predators, and fled at every shadow. They were alive, but they were small, intelligent, yet powerless. Prometheus watched them stumble through the world, and his heart was troubled. This was not what he had envisioned. This was not dominion. This was survival without dignity. Athena saw the unrest in his spirit. She knew what Prometheus desired, and she understood the cost. Wisdom alone could not protect humanity from the wild. Knowledge without power would leave them forever afraid. And so she spoke quietly, almost as a warning rather than a command. There is one gift that will change everything. One force that separates beasts from rulers. Fire. When the sun began its descent and the sky burned with the colors of dusk, Prometheus made his choice. The world was quiet, suspended between light and darkness, as if creation itself was holding its breath. High above the earth, the chariot of Helios waited for a new dawn, its flames blazing with divine fire. Prometheus approached without fear. He reached into the sacred blaze and ignited a torch. A small flame, fragile in appearance, yet destined to alter the course of history. Fire was given to man, and everything changed. Darkness no longer ruled the night. Cold lost its dominion. Tools were forged, weapons were shaped, flesh was cooked. Fear retreated. Humanity learned to stand upright, to build, to defend, to command the world around them. From caves rose settlements. From chaos came order. Prometheus watched as mankind awakened, their eyes reflecting the glow of the flame. And for the first time, he was satisfied. His creation was no longer merely alive, it was becoming powerful. But Olympus was watching. Zeus, ruler of the heavens, decreed that humanity must honor the gods through sacrifice. Altars were raised, offerings were demanded. And once again, Prometheus stood between mankind and divine authority. He saw the danger. He knew that unchecked power would consume his creation. If the gods took without measure, humanity would be reduced to servants, not stewards of the earth, but slaves to Olympus. And so Prometheus devised a plan, not with force, not with rebellion, but with cunning. He would test the ambition of the king of gods. A single offering would decide the fate of mankind. And in that moment, the balance between heaven and earth stood on the edge of deception. A bull was brought before the gods, its life offered as sacrifice. Prometheus split the offering into two portions. One was small, modest in appearance, yet hidden within it was the finest meat, carefully wrapped in the animal's skin. The other was vast and imposing, piled high with bones and entrails, concealed beneath glistening layers of fat. To the eye, one looked worthy of a king. The other looked like refuse. Prometheus waited. The heavens fell silent. Zeus chose as Prometheus had foreseen. His ambition drew his hand to the greater pile, the offering that appeared rich and abundant. And in that instant, mankind was spared. The best was left to them. But realization followed swiftly. Zeus saw the deception. The king of gods had been outwitted, not by another god, but for the sake of mortals. His fury shook Olympus. Judgment was declared. Fire would be taken from humanity, stripped from their hands as punishment for defiance. Without fire, mankind collapsed back into the shadows. Cold returned. Darkness ruled. Food could not be cooked. Tools fell useless. Fear reclaimed the night. Prometheus watched his creation suffer, and his anger burned hotter than any flame. Outraged, he made his choice once more. Under the cover of night, he ascended to Olympus, slipped past the watchful gods, and stole the sacred fire from the forges of Hephaestus. The flame returned to earth, and humanity rose again. But fire leaves a glow. and the glow betrayed him. High above, Zeus saw the light burning once more, and he knew Prometheus had crossed the final line. Zeus did not hesitate. Defiance could not go unanswered. The order of heaven demanded punishment, and Prometheus would become its example. The Titan was seized and dragged to the desolate heights of the Caucasus Mountains, where the wind howled like a curse and the earth offered no mercy.
There he was bound to a rock with unbreakable chains, his immortal body stretched beneath an unforgiving sky. This was not imprisonment. This was judgment. But the sentence was far worse than chains. Each day, a dreadful bird descended from the heavens, a creature born of terror and obedience. It tore into Prometheus's flesh, devouring his liver while he remained conscious, unable to die, unable to escape. The pain was immeasurable, the agony absolute. And when night fell and the beast departed, his body healed. The wound closed, the organ returned, only for the torment to begin again at dawn. Day after day, year after year, eternity measured in suffering. Even then, Zeus was not finished. He came to Prometheus with an offer: freedom in exchange for silence. Hide the knowledge, abandon mankind, let them return to weakness and fear. End your pain and walk away. The heavens waited for his answer. Bound, broken, bleeding, Prometheus lifted his gaze. And he refused. "My suffering is their future," his silence declared. "I will not betray what I have given." And so Prometheus remained, a martyr bound to stone, a benefactor crucified by power. Humanity prospered by the fire he stole, unaware that every flame carried the echo of his pain. For progress was purchased with sacrifice. And some gifts are paid for not with gratitude, but with eternal suffering.